Welcome to my channel. I can't believe that today I failed in making this macaroon, so watch on. My kids have been playing Among Us a lot, and I know many of you too. My son even drew this comic on Among Us, so I'm gonna give it a try to make these character macaroons. I'm using the recipe from Tasty again. So we have almond flour with icing sugar, egg white with salt and granulated sugar and vanilla essence. But we'll see how it goes, so keep watching. This is also my first time making macaroons, and I was so ambitious to do these character macaroons. As I go through the step by step with you, I will also share my lessons learned from other websites that I read up on. And first thing first, ensure that all your appliances are non-oily. You can see that I use the bowl and food processor, and these things may be oily, so it may affect the result later. So step one is to actually grind the almond flour with icing sugar and salt to make sure that it's all very fine. And we can't skip this step. It's a very important step as well to ensure that there will be no lumps. We still have to sift the almond flour and icing sugar mixture, ensure that there are no lumps at all. Okay, so I'm trying my best here. As you can see, that it's really fine now. That's what we want. The next step, you will need to use a hand mixer or a stand mixer, and the recipe by Tasty asks for egg white. I would recommend that you look for a recipe that have the egg whites in grams instead of just the number of egg whites required. So I cut the recipe by a third, and I was getting impatient because the stand mixer is probably too big to handle just one egg white. So I get impatient and I change to high speed, but this is a mistake. So lesson 3, please start with a medium and then slowly go to medium high and be patient. After some time, I still get this result, so it's not satisfactory. So I continue to mix until I get the stiff peak that I want. It is a little bit difficult for a beginner to tell whether it is soft peak or it's stiff peak, but I googled about it, and a soft peak will have a little bit bendy shape, and it will kind of return back to its original shape, something like that. So something like this picture. But I continue mixing until I get the soft peak. So the lesson 4 is still be patient until you can get the stiff peak. This is very important step. The next step is to add the almond flour mixture with icing sugar and fold them. But I googled somewhere that I should have added the vanilla essence earlier first before I add the dry ingredients, so that I won't risk the over mixing. So this is another lesson that I hope you can learn as well. So do not over mix, just fold in, and each time is 1/3 each of the flour mixture. And of course you can see here that I'm using the folding technique. Now the end batter should be a thick one, but it's still very soft, and if you pick it up, you will be able to form a number 8, like a ribbon like texture. Try to pick it up and then try to form a number 8 on the mixture, and that means you're on the right track. On the norm, you would have added a coloring with the vanilla essence. However, because I was trying to do a character macaroon, so I split this into 3 little bowls so I can make 3 colors. And I'm gonna make white, black and pink color. used whatever coloring gel that I have. Yes, you have to use a gel food color and not the watery kind because it will affect the texture. So I just use any gel color that I can find at home that I usually use for my icing sugar, for my icing cookies. But I read it somewhere that another lesson would be to use gel food color that does not contain any oil. So I'm gonna have to do more research on that as well. So I always use a toothpick to pick up the color and then dip it into my batter. That way you can control the amount of color you want. I was planning to use black here for my outline, so that's why I colored black, and I thought that I don't have enough batter to do other colors, so I'll stick with one Among Us character and with my favorite color pink. You may want to take note of the piping tips that I used. I try to find the smallest one for the black and a bigger one for the pink because that will be the main body, and the white will be just around the goggles area. Is that called a goggle for the Among Us character? So another tip is for me, I will always use a tall glass or a mug to put my piping bag, so it will be easier for me to pour the batter inside the piping bag. So now when all the colors are ready, it's time to pipe it out. I'm so excited. I drew these characters myself on a A4 paper, and then you can overlay it with your baking paper so that you will be able to see the outline of the characters, and then you can start piping. For the black color, I forgot to put the piping tape, but not to worry, I can always use another piping bag and fill it up with the piping tape and then put the black over. And I'm using the smallest piping bag here. It still looks very big here, but because I have very little batter, so actually I'm using the smallest one So lesson 7 would be to actually wait for the pink to dry up first before I add the white. I was really impatient and I wanted to complete it quick. So after I finished with the pink, I actually continued with the white. Okay, next step, I will use a toothpick to spread out to those corners that are very hard to reach. Because I don't have the professional tool for this, I just use a toothpick and it works. So the lesson 8 that I want you to also know about is never outline the macaroons with black, because I thought it would be the same as icing cookies, so I made an outline. But I realized that later you will see my end result, that it will not look good, and you can do the outline later after baking is done. You can probably use the brush or those edible food marker to draw the outline, but not at this point. Strongly not recommended. Like mentioned, I did this template myself. I drew this by hand, so there were a lot of thought process going on to even start this baking of Among Us characters. And it was a mistake of mine not to watch more videos on character cookies or on macaron making, and I just thought I could do it and I jump started. So continue watching to get more tips and tricks. So the one that I want to share with you is that the lesson 9, that the bottom of the cookie will be a mirror image of the top. So I made a mistake of making them looking to the right and all of them looking to the right. So the top of the cookie should be looking right, but the bottom should be looking left. So they're like a mirror image to each other. So I'm gonna have to make another template that have the mirror image, and I will definitely update you guys if I do so. Please subscribe so you will get the recent updates. But I did have a lot of fun doing this. It was very therapeutic, I must say. Personally, I love to draw, and this is really fun. And even my little girl attempted to make as well because she was so excited to see the Among Us character. So I'll definitely try this again, and hopefully in the next round I'll be more successful, and I'll share with you guys another video for sure. see here, I have the fat one, the skinny ones, the injured ones, and I don't know. So I'm so excited. So I'm taking out the template, just gently slide it out like that, and you have to actually tap the baking tray to remove any air bubbles, and we have to wait for it to be dry before we can put it in the oven to bake. So how it turns out? Not that good. It's not as good as I imagined it to be. It was not the color that I want, and you can see the outline. The black outline is really destroying everything. And I read somewhere if the color change, it means that the oven may be too hot. So I'll need to experiment this again, and I'll definitely do another video to try this on. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something from my baking experience and from this video before you attempt to make one. So like I said, I wished I had read up more or watched more videos before I attempt the character macaroons. I was just being too ambitious. So thank you for watching. Hit like and subscribe, and I'll keep you updated. Thank you so much.